are live. Sorry about that. Having some issues with OBS from last update.
I hope it opened on that last line from Amy.
Yeah, it pretty much did.
Yes! Perfect stream cold open.
I'm super German. I never did that.
And that is how the show is going to go today.
Yeah, believe me, they've been going over a lot of topics. I've been trying to fix stuff. It's been interesting. Alright, so might as well just fire off into the recap. You
go. We took a trip to Junk in Thy Trunk, and I got a razor edge and a sweet, scary face neck tattoo. And I think some other people got stuff. I don't remember. I didn't write that down.
The last of my
guys.
gold, getting a balanced hilt for my sword.
I paid
didn't
off
write
my
that
debt.
down. We went to the guild hall in Kutrov. Or we tried to go, but there is no branch in Kutrov, which was kind of weird, but there is one in Torzev Keep, which we passed on our way to Kutrov. So we decided we were gonna go there to try to teleport somewhere. I actually did not write that down.
I think our plan was to head west.
Oh, to the mountains?
Yes.
Yes, to like the ice frost mountains or something.
Ice Crown Mountains.
Ice Crown, yep.
And also, Danil had a thought that possibly the weather and the hardships being caused by it could possibly actually be related to trying to resurrect Timus.
Oh yeah, push people into desperation, make them turn to a sketchy cult.
Yes. So basically, we did some shopping and some speculating.
We did some reading too.
Yes, I was reading the compendium.
Jewel found a nice trashy romance novel to read too. I had that written.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Messed around in Kutrov. Did some errands, got damp.
Got tattoos, permanent ones.
Got tattoos.
Pretty scars.
And then we're headed right back the way we came.
And then we went back to Torzev Keep, and I believe we left off that we had just arrived. Because we were also hoping to find a job or two for the guild to possibly make some money and
could use the cash.
I always need the cash.
And also, so that we're not just be like, hey, can you teleport us across the continent?
Gotta make ourselves useful.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, Torzev Keep. It's not a large keep. It's moderate size. A lot of they look like soldiers, but you can see that they have different, almost like different crests on their shoulder pauldrons, which are different emblems for the different churches. Looking at it, you can basically figure out that whichever one that they're from, they've been assigned here as part of their duty and basically act as guards. But yeah, it's not much of a, it looks kind of like a little stall. But there is a little sign over the like a door that says, you know, the Guild with Grey Lion. So as you guys pile in, it's pretty tight when all of you walk in. There's not a whole lot of room here. You see a dwarf just kind of sitting behind the desk, going through some paperwork. Looks up. Ah, what can I do for you?
Daniel will flash his paperwork or badge or whatever the heck they gave us, and the four of us are members of a guild passing through the area, hoping to find some work.
Oh, don't see too many of you. Yeah, I'm sure I can probably, scrounge something up. What are you looking to do? What are you good at?
Ula
Well-
just kind of waves her axe.
Well, I imagine beyond our more obvious inclinations, we have a number of specialized skills, can perform assorted types of magic. We have a great deal of medical knowledge between the four of us. And we have, on occasion, been known to fight large and terrifying creatures.
Well, that's pretty
And
impressive.
we have a wolf.
That too.
Well, I'm not sure how much that helps out, but hey, anything works, I suppose.
Jorlak just sits next to Ula, like, like a good boy.
Well, let me see what I got here. Start kind of rifling through some paperwork. Okay, are you looking to stay in the area, or do you want to go out somewhere else?
We're traveling west generally, but if there is work that needs to be done in the local area, we can certainly take a small delay to get something done.
West, you say? Oh, funny you mentioned that. I've actually got. It's not so much something for the guild. A friend of mine recently asked me to find him some help. Do you know where Darkodor is?
Vaguely
Oh,
to the
yes.
west?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
pretty
familiar
much.
with that location, I say, looking at the map and spotting it over in the Frostfell Mountains.
Like you say, you're on the west, so I mean it's west. But yeah, I
It's
I
certainly
got
on
a friend over there that they're having some problems. Um, Kind of a territorial issue. It seems that there's a lot of goblins in the area that are trying to take claim of their land.
Ula just smiles.
What's the pay?
Well, for the right people, I think said something around about 1,500 silver.
Not too shabby. What exactly are your friends looking for specifically? Are we supposed to be mercenaries to drive off the squatters, assassins, diplomats?
Yes. He didn't
I
really give me
see.
any preferred style. It's more of just get him to
Make the
stop.
problem go away.
Pretty
I
much.
see.
Would transport be included in all of this? Like,
Well, I mean, it'll take you a few weeks if you want me to get you some horses.
So no teleportation here.
Does this man look like he has a teleportation spell sitting in his like side cupboard desk, like
He's still
park
green.
visitor center?
You never know.
He's green still.
Like, well, I mean, oh, I can give it a whirl.
She looks at the rest of you guys. I mean, we have horses, right? We still have horses,
Yeah,
right?
I've still got a pony.
I imagine the dwarf's teleportation spell is to like take you and spin you around and like chuck you in a direction, and you get there. Then
Toss me.
10 feet out the door. You're west.
It's like, I might have something. Well, not me per se, but maybe Jane's got something. See him kind of hop off his stool and he kind of disappears behind the desk. Yeah, stumbles back, and there's a door that you guys missed because it's actually just a really short one. Kind of goes back and Jane, do you have that thing ready? Do you want to test it out? I've got some people here that want to try it. Oh, here's, yeah. See this little gnome come running out. He's got like looks like a rod. It's about 2 feet long. It's got different carvings on it. Just gently puts it down on the desk. He's like, that'll get you where we don't go.
Dare we ask how it works?
He looks at you and just goes, magic.
How does it know where we want to go then?
Well, all you gotta say is where you want to go, and you'll go.
If there's only one, do we all have to be touching it?
Pretty much.
How many successful trips has this thing made?
This one would be, well, none yet, but the other ones, they're pretty successful. It's kind of a one-way ticket, so they should have gotten there. We haven't heard anything otherwise.
between the four of us, can we sense what type of magic that it uses to know kind of like which one of us should investigate further, if it's arcane or if it's divine or?
It would be arcane.
We just all turn to Jewel.
All right, so Jewel wants to make some kind of examination.
Weren't you reading about portals anyway?
Yeah, examination / sensing of like what's going on there, and if the magic object seems trustworthy. See if it really is magic to begin with, and then if it's trustworthy.
All right, give me a. We're going to average Arcana check. We'll do one setback because the magic in it seems a little chaotic.
Oof.
Jewel thinks it works great.
Well, I suppose if we can trust it, we can gather all our stuff and horses together and make an attempt. What's the worst that could happen? We get flung thousands of feet into the air, cast into the sea, trapped deep below the earth where only wraiths and other creatures dwell.
I'm still on board to maybe catching another
That's the spirit. I like where you're thinking.
caravan mission going west.
We can always ride.
Jules really confident this is a good idea. She's gonna try to convince you guys that we should use this. This is a way that if we could figure out how this worked, we maybe could use it more often to get ourselves other places as well. So it could be a real help in our adventuring.
Daniel doesn't
Yeah.
want to admit it, but he also kind of wants to learn more about this because our journeys have been just ping-ponging us across every corner of this continent.
Ula doesn't really need a whole lot of convincing. She's like, Jules says it works great, so let's do this.
So you just have to convince me.
Gotta convince the skeptical one.
Don't worry, Asha, magic is good, actually.
I was the one who even asked if they had teleportation, and she regretted it instantly.
Key, harken back those months ago when we first met about what your vision of how magic worked and what you thought of it was, and then now think about how many good things you've seen that the four of us have been able to do with the help of magic, and this is just another way to further that.
I trust the four of us. Do we have to take the horses on this with us? Can't we just sell them and buy new ones where we go? I don't want to subject them to this experiment.
That's fair.
We can ask the gnome, if he thinks it be better to leave the horses.
What, you think that the horses are better than Jorlak?
Jorlak, I can't convince you to let him stay. At least the horses we can sell.
Jorlak has his own mind. He can decide for himself.
Well, Jorlak,
do you want to stay or do you want to try this with us?
He looks up. He's just...
we can't
looks
leave.
like he's mulling it over. Do I risk it? Do I go with? I could just stay and be safe.
I imagine us teleporting away, and then we cut to Jorlak on the one of the greatest adventure pet stories, where he's trying to cross the continent to get to us.
Oh God.
He changed his mind. He did want to go, but it was too late.
Fighting owl bears along the way.
Oh, we might be able to set something up with the guild, I suppose, with the horses. I don't know exactly how the rules of this place work yet, but if we leave off our horses here in the care of the guild, maybe we can, I don't know, not exactly rent, but make use of horses at another guild station. That sort of thing.
Like the My Car version of horses, where you just rent them when you need them.
Something like that.
We left
Alternatively, we
horses here, so we would like to borrow horses here.
Alternatively, we just sell them, as you'd said. Might get us a little more spending change for where we're going. And I don't know if we can take horses into the deep mountains like we want to.
oh yeah.
Jewel's gonna tell Key that if this is something that's beyond what she's comfortable with, that's okay. Jewel's kind enough to recognize that Key's been pushed a lot of times, and that this is one step too far. Then that's okay. So
Then
in
we'll
that sense,
just go on horseback or whatever.
It's just magic I don't know and don't trust. But if you say it's fine, I trust you. So
Jewel is sort of playing the passive aggressive of well, if you don't want us to go, then we shouldn't.
which will make Key feel guilty and
This could backfire real hard for Jewel.
yeah, well, as long as it doesn't hurt, it should be fine, right?
Everything I sense from this wand tells me that it's safe.
You see the dwarf kind of crawl back up on a stool and just But if you're worried about your horses, we can give you a, the going rate, and then that way when you get whatever you're going next, you can just buy some new ones.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Very well.
Yes, but if that thing's safe or not, I mean, wasn't wrong. We haven't heard back from the others, but that doesn't mean they didn't get there. Communications just could be very slow.
You happen to know where any of them were going to?
No.
Well, I suppose that doesn't help things along. Assuming we use it, and that's not yet decided, we'll send some kind of post back to you. If we live, that is.
I mean, if you're really worried about it, we can, there may be a magic user around that may be able to send you where you need to go. Or at least to Dolkodor.
That is a good question. Any hedge wizards or stuck-up scholarly types around this keep?
We've got a few. Well, I mean, good portion of them are pretty stuck up. But I may be able to find one for you.
This could be a fine compromise to maybe get some more reliable travel.
The relief is palpable on Key's face of another option.
Alright, let me go take a look, see what I can find. See the kind of look a little deflated.
Part of me really wants to see what happens though if we do this.
I am very curious to see what happens.
I really want to do it. So like, I know you're talking us out of it, but like, I think we really should do it.
Well, even if we don't, what if Daniel will say, well, you still want us to try out your device. Would it be possible for us to take along this copy then? Maybe try it at a later date? Never can hurt to have an emergency getaway.
I mean, sure, but I'll have to make something to hold it. You don't want to jostle it around.
That's an alarming thing to have heard. Well, we'll see. We'll see what other options we have. We haven't decided anything yet.
Okay, well, I'll just put it in back. You see him carefully pick it up, start walking back through the door. The dwarf's just shaking his head.
Yeah, out of character, I think we all want to use it. It's just gotta find the right in-character motivation, you know?
It's fair.
Well, Ula's not really afraid of anything. She's ready to just grab it and try it.
I think if you do that, we'd follow you.
Well, you would have to. I mean, you wouldn't have to, but...
But we wouldn't get money for the horses.
Well, I mean, obviously she would do it after we get the money.
And that could work. But
I mean,
I also don't want to like force a thing if it doesn't feel right in character, though. So I am happy with whatever road we take, because whatever road we take, Joe will throw things at us that will be interesting and concerning.
So, as he's going back into the back room, he kind of stops in the little doorway. And he goes to turn. And when he does, he smashes his hand on the door frame. And you just see the rod go, toop. Oh, bollocks. You hear a shattering noise, and all you hear is poof. Treve? You need a new bed. Did anybody go take a peek?
Yeah, Ula's gonna go take a peek.
Daniel will creep around.
So as you guys kind of look, you can see that there's now a almost spherical burn mark, and everything that was in that area is just gone. Don't worry, guys. I can make another one.
Key is going to ask the gnome where he was thinking of when he dropped it.
Jewel.
Jewel.
You're speaking for Key now?
Everyone obeys Jules' will now.
I've already become a god. Too late.
Well, I was thinking about my old workshop back in the colony, so I think they're in for a big surprise.
Where is the colony?
Oh, down in Greywall Mountain.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ways away.
Surprise. See, his shoulders just kind of slumped, and you see Garn walk up and just kind of lightly pat him. Garn been there. Garn no. And just like turns around, kind of walks back. You see him kind of stop, go, wait, and then he just bolts into that little room.
Was that Garnd or the gnome?
Garnd. The gnome's kind of like chasing after him. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's alarming. Yeah, Daniel will like see what Garnd is doing.
So, you can see what looks like a little workbench, and there's just tools and jars of different things just scattered all over it, and you just see him examining everything. What's this? What's this? Ooh, don't have this. What's this? And I'm just like, would you put, stop! Don't touch, stop! Just kind of looks like you, help.
Garnd, that you've done this yourself. If you want to ask him about his work, ask him about it. Don't simply burst your way in.
Well, Garn thought he'd be excited to show him.
He may well be. But you should ask before you start grabbing things.
Okay.
It's also good dating advice.
True.
So, unfortunately, well, I guess I'll go find that wizard.
Yes, we would be obliged.
You see him
Jewel teleports away.
you see him just kind of crawl down, kind of walk out. But 15 minutes later, he comes back. Well, found the wizard. Says he'll do it.
What does he want?
Oh, just wants a favor from us at some point.
The guild in general?
Aye.
Or us specifically?
Just the guild in general. So this can either go really well or really poor.
Well, I hate to rack up a tab on the guild's behalf, so I suppose if the need is ever great, put in a word for us and we'll do what we can. Daniel looks at the rest of the party to be like, is this all right? Is this what we're doing?
Ula's just like, whatevs. She's cool with whatever.
Key will nod to back you up.
Jewel's kind of doing the meme where she's like walking with the hedge mage, but like looking over her shoulder back at the object that just went off, and wishing that she had been able to use it, but she was all right.
Like the distracted boyfriend meme, but it's the teleportation rod.
So I
Yeah.
guess the question is, do you guys want to wait for Gene to come up with something else, or do you want to use a wizard?
The wizard works.
Wizard seems reliable. How bad could a favor possibly be? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I have utter faith in our capabilities.
Alright, well, he says he'll be over here shortly, so I guess gotta hang out for a few.
Now I need to look up how much I spent on my pony and my like saddle and shit. What the
I
hell
don't
did this
even
cost?
know if I have a horse. I think I've been riding around in the wagon.
Yeah, I don't think you had your own. Wait, where did the? $400. So 400 silver for a pony, it looks like. And then I think I bought saddlebags for 75, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's just what the book says. I don't know what our new friend is offering.
Alright, so the Tarif kind of grabs a bunch of silver, tosses it into a bag, and drops down. Well, for your cart and your horses, it should cover just about all of it.
Suppose we can't ask for a better deal.
Jewel will say a word of thanks. I mean, he's done a pretty good service for us on very short notice, considering that we're pretty much strangers to him.
It's true. You've done a good turn in a place where I imagine you're not really called upon very often for guild business.
Yeah, not really. It's pretty quiet out here.
Well, we appreciate your kinship nonetheless.
Yep,
What was his name again?
Treve, I think.
Yeah.
You shall not be forgotten, Shreve, and we will not forget the debt we incurred on the guild's behalf here.
Oh, that's good, because who knows, I may need to call on you.
This is too bad we don't have any more of them calling.
So after about 45 minutes or so, You see this younger looking human kind of come walking in. So, are you the ones that wanted to leave?
That's us.
Excellent, excellent. Do you got all your stuff together?
I believe we
Everything
do.
we're taking with us.
Alright. Well, yeah, I can get started and get you out of here. Where are you going again?
How do you pronounce it, Joe? Dar.
Coldor.
Del Coldor.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, so I know a good spot I can put you down in. Probably right outside, so that way you don't risk slamming into somebody.
True. Do we have all the details
the
from
best.
Treve about where we need to go and who we need to talk to?
Not yet. Well, yeah, when he gives you like a scroll that's got the name and all that on there.
Okay. Just want to make sure we had that in our possession before we left.
So just wandering around like, hey, does anybody know a guy named Treve? Said he had work here.
Said he had a friend here. Needs some work done. Oh no, we lost you.
Oh, sorry, I'm here. I just covered myself up for a second.
Oh, okay. So, as you round everybody up, kind of get close to each other. Garn's kind of sitting there, still looking back over towards the gnomes area. The mage starts making symbols on the floor. You can hear Tree just. Now I've got to clean that up too. Great. Is there anything else that can happen today? I mean, got explosions. We got my bed disappearing. We got some wearing mage graffitiing my floor. Soon just kind of walks up to them back for a second, comes back out. He's just got a big mug. The mage starts to recite the incantation to send you to Dalkodor, or Darkodor. And as he starts to get, and you can start to feel the magic, it feels tingly, as it's just kind of surrounding you. It's almost in a whirlwind. You can tell he's getting close to finishing, as the feeling just gets stronger. Like the hairs on your arms start to stand up. Almost feel like little electrical shocks kind of arcing. The air around you begins to almost blur and shift, almost like a heat shimmer. You can still see everything, but it's getting harder and harder to see. And then two things happen. One, as everything begins to kind of fade, very softly, it's almost easy to overlook. All you hear is and two, you see, it's hard, but you see the door slam open, and you see the mage just arc and fall forward. The dwarf kind of starts to sit up, and you see 6 bolts just across his chest, and everything just gone. It's dark. Like, you're used to almost instantaneous teleportation. Right now, it is just black. You start to feel cold. It kind of starts at your like in your back, and just starts to come through to your chest. And everything's back. But instead of standing up, you're all kind of like flat out on your backs. And the ground is cold. It feels like ice. You look up and you can just see ice above you. All you hear is, well, well, well. What do we have here? And as you look over, you see about 8 guards dressed in a light, it looks like metal, but it looks like a ice blue in color. Come towards you, spears dropped, pointing right at you, and you see one lady, solid white hair, wearing just a white gown, sitting on what looks like a throne of ice. She just kind of sits forward. So, where did you come from?
Are we able to move at all?
Yeah, you can move. You're just really cold.
Key is crying. It was pretty traumatic what we just saw. She's definitely got tears, like she's probably shaking and having a mild panic attack right now.
Do we
Throw
still
it
have our stuff, or
down.
has that been taken from us?
No, it's all still there. Like, this is right when you poofed in. You just see a bunch of guards suddenly pointing down at you.
Like we poofed into someone's throne room.
Pretty much. That seems to be what you guys, but
Someone's
it looks like.
throne room in a cave of ice. Jorlak is not like, he's not attacking as long as the guards don't get too close, but he is kind of prowling around us, just kind of growling.
Anytime as he's walking, I mean, there's guards that are just following him with their spears, and as soon as he kind of gets to the next one, that one takes over, and that one snaps back, pointing at you guys. And do they just do that in succession as he moves around?
We have no quarrel with you. Are you responsible for bringing us here?
My dear lizard man, if I was to bring you here, one, you would be standing, and two, you would know, because I would have had invited you. But as I see right now, you've just barged into my home. Unannounced. Unwelcomed. So, perhaps you are assassins?
Key
Or
sits
clumsy
up.
ones, if that's the case.
Key sits up and looks at her. Do you think we meant to come here? Tears just coming down her face.
I don't
This
know.
isn't what the intention was.
I fear we are all victims of circumstance here. This was, unfortunately, a teleportation gone wrong. The last we had seen, our caster was attacked by some assailant. I fear that may have misdirected the spell, but we will gladly be on our way if it is what you desire.
Well, I would say yes, but again, I'm very curious why you suddenly appeared here.
We were intending to go to Dal Kuldor.
Yeah, did we get the hedge mage's name? Like we could say like that he was the one that trying to send us, or she was the one trying to send us.
Actually, you never did get his name.
I'll just leave it at that, though. We were intending to go to Dar Kuldor.
Ula is wisely staying quiet because she probably whatever she says will probably get us into a fight right now. So as long as they don't harm Jorlak or any of you, she'll just stay quiet.
Dark Lord. And what dealings do you have with the dwarves?
We simply heard of work to be had. We are mercenaries by trade, and had exhausted work in the east.
Well, safer tonight, perhaps. You wouldn't mind being my guests.
Excuse me, ma'am, but your guests, and we don't even know your name?
Oh, where are my manners? Where are my manners? I am Thilga.
Could you spell that one?
Thildga.
Have any of us ever heard legends of an ice queen before?
Heard of a Dairy Queen?
Like maybe knowledge lore roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go hard difficulty on it.
Doesn't ring a bell to Key.
Damn, almost there.
Yeah, nothing seems to really click.
Dice are fucking cold tonight. So none of us have heard of her, but maybe something good will happen.
Maybe he's heard of somebody she knows.
Maybe she's heard of me.
There you go.
Ever heard of Heat
I-
Miser?
I don't know if that's a good thing.
So yeah, nothing's ringing a bell for anybody. It's just the name doesn't sound familiar. You don't remember seeing it or hearing about that anywhere. Jewel, one thing that kind of comes to mind, you don't know who she is, but the area you're at and just kind of almost like the layout of the throne room and just kind of what you can see is vaguely familiar. You're guessing that you're close to the area you want to be in, but you're still kind of a ways off. But judging from everything, think you might be next or close to Hale. Because you remember reading something about long ago in the Frostbell, there was a palace made of ice.
Shit, we're even further west now.
Overshot.
Is there a proper way to address you?
Well, the most proper way would probably just call me Your Highness.
In that case,
Certainly.
Your Highness, it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Asha.
And I am Daniel.
I'm Jewel.
I'm Ula, and this is Jorlak.
Jorlak is once they didn't really make any moves towards anything. He just kind of settled next to Ula, but is still, he's not growling now, but he's got his watchful eye on.
Well, if you would like to be my guest for tonight, we can set you up in a couple of rooms. You will have guards outside. You will be escorted around if you want to view some of the areas here. Precautions and all. Unexpected guests, possible assassins, I don't know. You could be telling me the truth, you could be lying. I gotta take, precautions.
And I take it that we will not have the option of refusing this offer, Your Highness?
I mean, you can. But it's going to get very dark very fast. And it's going to get very cold out.
He kind of starting to calm down now, so she kind of wipes the last of the tears and she just kind of looks then to the group and then back to her. Well, thank you, Your Highness. We appreciate your hospitality. We have no idea where we are. And if you could let us know exactly our location, that would be extremely helpful to orientate ourselves.
In due time, my dear. In due time. For now, she kind of looks over and you see a human female who's got her hair tied back in like a real tight braid. Herva here will get you settled. We'll have dinner in about an hour. They'll bring you to the dining hall. Go, relax, collect yourselves, clean up if you need.
Well, I suppose. Thank you, Your Highness, for your hospitality.
Indeed. Now, please, be gone. I have some things to take care of.
While we leave, though, Daniel's going to move up next to Key and say, Asha, are you all right? A silly question to ask, I suppose, but...
Keel just breathe deeply. You heard the laugh, didn't you?
Yes.
Something's wrong. But we have to get out of here first.
Agreed.
Jewel was looking to confirm, like when we get a moment to confirm what everyone else saw or heard or sensed or whatever, to try to piece it together too.
Yep.
It certainly didn't sound as though it came from anyone within that room or outside of it.
No, it felt like an outside. It felt outside. So, can you remind me, Joe, were there guards that came into the door that shot him, or did the bolts come out of us again? I can't remember.
So basically, as you guys were starting to fade, the door was basically, it looked like it was kicked in. It slammed open, and then you didn't see anybody there. Just bolts. Well, you saw the mage arc and then fall forward. As he was falling forward, you saw about 6 bolts just come flying from outside in. And
so we didn't see where they came from?
Nope.
Okay.
Out of character, I almost was going to make a joke about how you said the tree will never be forgotten. Like, and I was like, it's not like he's dead or something. And then 2 seconds later, he was dead.
Gone, but never forgotten.
In the arms of an angel.
Well, I think we need to get through this dinner now. figure out who the hell this Hilga. How did you pronounce her name?
Filga?
Thilga?
Filga. Okay.
Yeah, so Herva
Oh.
brings you, basically there's 2 rooms side by side, and she just kind of stops, opens up. Here you go. Enjoy. I'll come get you in about an hour or 2.
Thank you, I suppose.
And then she just kind of walks off, continues on. The guards kind of stick by each side of the doors. So instead of having like one door, one door, one, they got two on this door and then 2 on the other door. As soon as you guys enter in, they close and you hear. The rooms are, I mean, they look nice. Everywhere you look, it's just ice in the floor, but yet you're not slipping when you're walking on it. The bed, the couple of beds, they look like normal beds. Little frost over them, nothing too bad. There is a fireplace set up in each room. Kind of like a area, almost like a closet, like a wooden wardrobe. So you could, store all your stuff in there if you need it.
Jewel's gonna subtly look for the bed closest to the fireplace and just happen to take that one because that's Jewel.
Daniel is already getting to work, like going to the farthest end of the room away from the door, and setting up like the bowl with the incense, getting that lit. And
so Garnd is with you, and you see him digging in his pack, pulling out some furs that you don't remember him having before, and just starts wrapping himself up and basically making a little Garnd burrito. So when he's done, all you can see is just right here.
And the boots with the fur.
While Daniel's unpacking, he's just going to casually mention, it would be good to keep some conversation whilst we think. We have nothing to hide from the guards, so certainly it won't matter if they hear our small talk, if nothing else.
We're all in the same room, or are we in different rooms?
They left up to you. So there's 2 rooms side by side.
Oh.
So wait, are they adjoining? Okay, they're not adjoining then?
No. So basically they just kind of left if you guys wanted to split. If you want 2 separate, women in one, men in the other. Or if you all want to go in the same room, they left up to
Honestly, in this situation, it might be safer for us to stay in one room,
I
less
agree.
isolated.
I was thinking that too.
We've got enough gear that we can scrounge, like if people want their bed space, we've got bed rolls. Like
And we put our bedrolls by the fire.
We slept with the caravan. I don't think that,
it is what it
everybody-
is.
Yeah.
Well, we're also magic users. We can create sources of heat.
It's true. That's true.
I do think, though, in this situation, splitting up is not a good idea. So, yeah. Although Key still needs to kind of contemplate and think a little bit, so she's going to grab her token. And if Jorlak will consent, she'll want to like pet him a little bit and roll the token in her hand. Essentially like her way of praying for guidance on what to do.
Oh, if you start petting him, he's like all over that.
Yeah, it just the motion it'll help calm her too. So good.
Well, I mean, it was pretty scary for him too. and then he felt like he had to protect us all. So yeah,
He's had a big day.
So
he's a
she'll
good boy.
Key will acknowledge that you want to talk about small talk, but she's not ready to like. She's still got to think things through a little bit.
Yeah, Daniel will see Key sitting there and then give like another like pointed look at Ula and Jewel and say, it would be good to keep up a conversation whilst we settle in, and lights the incense.
Jewel's going to ask Ula what's the warmest place she's ever been. That's how she's going to start off her small talk.
Well, I have to say that I haven't really been to too many really warm places. Like I haven't really been in the desert or anything for a long time. It's mostly like cities and around there.
And
Cabaret is probably the warmest place I've been.
And while the conversation is going on, Daniel is with the quietest of whispers going to try and ask questions of the spirits. Spirits, plural, I guess.
All right. Do you already have your questions, or need to come up with them?
I think I've got my questions. I just need to flip the pip. So I've got 3 of them currently. The first one, because focusing on immediate danger and then dealing with the ramifications of what we just witnessed. Does Filda intend to kill us?
All right. So, as you get the incense burning, the familiar shapes begin to swirl within the smoke. As they whip around, you see the first one stop and just no, and then move on.
Okay, that's something. The second one, will she allow us to leave?
So it keeps kind of shifting around, stops, kind of off to your left. Yes.
Okay, well, that's at least a baseline. We can worry about complications later. Finally, are the ones who attacked the Grey Lion Guildhall in Torzev Keep servants of the god Tamus? And he'll whisper that like as quietly as humanly possible, as if saying it will bring down even further wrath upon us.
So as this one swirls around, you see it stop and it's like face to face with you. You know there's a form there, but it's not making itself as noticeable as before. And every time you can see it trying to answer, but every time it does, it almost like a breeze hits it. And so you look and it's just, yeah, well, and you can see it go, and as soon as it does that, just gets blasted again.
Yeah, I think that's probably answer enough. Daniel will let the trance fall.
At this point, Jules asked Ula what's the hottest food she's ever eaten. These are all going to be heat questions, so.
Just to make us feel extra cold.
chili with noodles in it.
To bookend the stream.
All right, stream over for the night. We've
Yeah, I was
won.
gonna say stream over.
Ooh. Kitty.
My sniffykins. Or, as I have just started calling him, Snifferdoodle.
He seems to be really confused because I have him up here.
He's like, this is not my spot. This is Mackie's spot.
Well, it's funny because
Speaking of,
yeah, like Mackie will actually jump up on my desk, my new desk, and lay down as I'm like trying to do stuff. He'll just lay across my arm. But now that I got my new chair, you know, nice GT racing chair, which has a nice little footrest and can recline. As Mackie walks across the other screen. I put my chair right now. It's just off to the side because I got to tear it apart. And Sniff is loving it because he'll just hop up in my chair next to me and just pass right out. That's like his little throne now. It's like, you know, I gotta tear that apart, right?
But he loves it.
Oh, he does. It's so nice not having a bolt digging into the back of my leg.
there goes Mackie again. It's treat time.
Tom, I don't know if it's loud enough to hear, but the train is going by right now for you.
Oh, I can hear it.
hear that
I
too.
appreciate it.
What's funny is I always know, like, we don't hear it too much, but like the apartment will kind of just have a light shake to it. It's like, oh, yep, train.
That rattle.
So every now and then, if my camera starts kind of shaking, it's probably the train. Alright, so, you guys want to take a quick 5 minutes?
Yeah?
Alright, hit the bathroom real quick. So. We'll do a quick little break.
As it should be.
Alright, so a couple hours goes by, and you hear the door opens. Guard's like, this way. And you guys come out. They lead you into the dining, through the halls, down to the dining room. There's a huge, like, banquet table. It's not covered with food, but there's a large selection of food here. You see her at one end. They kind of set you towards the middle. Please, please, sit, eat.
I guess Daniel will do so.
Key will do the same, do a respectful nod in her direction as a thank you for the meal.
I mean, Ula's hungry, so yeah, she'll thank her and eat. Is it hot enough for Jewel?
Probably.
I should have asked about the food. Oh well.
Well, she's not trying to kill us. It's probably pretty safe. So, are there others here too besides her? I mean, like, I know probably guards around, but are there like other nobles or other people in the room, or?
No, at most, you see the occasional server kind of come in. What catches your eye is they seem to be young. Like, say maybe the oldest one that you can kind of peg is maybe about 14, 15. A lot of children.
Do they look like scared of her, or just like more like defer to her? Like, like you can kind of tell when somebody's doing something because they're scared of that person versus
Sort of. They look more kind of resigned to what they're doing. But anytime they bring something out or refill your cups, she thanks them. They're just like, yes, Your Highness, and kind of wander off. But as dinner goes on, you just make small talk about the area and whatnot.
Which she still hasn't exactly told us where we are.
So she explains that you are on, the way she puts it, is you are on the highest peak in the frost, or one of the highest peaks in the frost belt. You're about 120 miles, or about 100 miles from Hale, and about maybe 60 from Scullins.
So like that one really tall mountain, like just below Scowlins.
Yeah.
So we were blown way off course.
Yeah. She explains, she's like, this is my home, this is my territory, this is my land. People pretty much leave us alone here. I can live my life as I see fit. nobody bothers us.
Again, we are dreadfully sorry to have dropped in. Again, it was entirely unintentional.
Mistakes happen. Teleportation can sometimes be a tricky business.
Um, so we're on the highest peak. Ula wants to know if there's any, like, is there a village around, like outside of the palace, or does she just live up here alone, or what?
There's a few villages in the area that are kind of close by.
So she's not she's not completely isolated.
Right. Yeah, there's still people around, but most of them, there's no major threats that come out this way. And any that do,
Yep.
she can see from a good distance away that they can be dealt with before they reach their location.
Your Highness, I wonder if it is proper for us to ask your story. Surely you must have some magnificent tales to tell of your wondrous palace.
Well, I suppose so. I grew up very poor. We had to fight for everything. And once I started to mature, my family had traded me off for some goods to a gentleman who in turn started to train me in arcane arts. He he apparently saw something special in me and helped bring that out. And now here I am. Found this palace that was in a state of decay and fixed it up, made it proper, made it a home.
It is beautiful, Your Highness.
It is, isn't it?
I mean no disrespect, Your Highness, but don't you get cold?
No, gold has never phased me.
Dang it!
I know, I was waiting for it too.
Have to resist the temptation. But come now, Your Highness, you've left out the best part of a tale. All stories of a dark master and their prodigious apprentice have some sort of climactic showdown. Either master and apprentice face each other, or perhaps the mentor perishes tragically. What became of your last great bond?
Well, he is deceased. He, got rather intoxicated one night and tried to push himself on me. So I killed him.
Jewel immediately says, "Well done."
Key will nod in affirmation, like in her mind, going right on.
Ula also is like, you go, girl. But Amy is going, man, you didn't sell that. He didn't try to sell you for drinking money.
Had to make a Last Jedi reference.
I know. I had.
Had to.
Sorry. But Ula's like, yes, you go, girl.
Daniel has no snappy comebacks. He just raises his cup and takes a swig.
It must have been hard, Your Highness. I know how it feels to be abandoned by your parents in such a way, but look at what you've built. This is phenomenal.
So as you guys are eating, at one point she kind of gets up, pretty close after you said that. She's just kind of walking around the table. She kind of, you feel her come up behind you. And when she comes close, I mean, you can feel cold radiating off of her. You can kind of feel her come kind of on the right side of your head, and she's like, though we may have been abandoned, use it. Let it strengthen you. Let it harden you.
Use your hate.
You have anger, you have hate, but you don't use it.
She'll just-
That is the way to the dark side.
Good, Anakin. Now, kill him.
Key will just kind of look at her. I am finding my strength in my own ways.
Excellent, my dear. She just kind of gets up, and leans back, and just kind of keeps walking around. At one point, you see her kind of stop. If you'll excuse me a moment. You see her kind of not rush, but make kind of a hurried exit out of the dining hall. You see a couple of guards kind of fall in right behind her.
It's probably Anna and Kristoff.
Sven's eating all the carrots.
Including Olaf's nose.
So what do you guys do while she's gone?
Are the guards still around, like, watching us?
There's about 4 of them. Kind of post off in the far corners.
Well, I suppose we've nothing better to do than survey the grounds of this place and wait to see if there are any ill effects to the food.
Is dinner over? Or did she leave in the middle of dinner? Like, in the middle? Or is...
Yeah, no, she left in about the middle of dinner.
And, like, her indication was that she was coming back? Like, she said, excuse me?
Yeah. So excuse me for a moment.
Kiyu is gonna probably more inclined to just wait for her to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, Daniel will finish eating in that case. I thought we had finished.
Because she didn't necessarily excuse us, and we don't really know what we're dealing with yet, so I don't want to make her angry.
Okay. So, after about 20 minutes or so, she comes back. She's like, yeah, sorry about that. I had to deal with something really quick. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, dinner. And so she takes her spot again and just starts eating.
So, excuse me, Your Highness, but as we stated when we arrived, we do have business in Dara Koldur. What would be the easiest way for us to get there? Do you have any recommendations on a path? Perhaps a horse we can buy?
not too many horses. They can't really handle some of the trails here. However, I can have Herba escort you out. She's one of my best scouts. She can show you a way. Likely you'll probably get to Hale, and then from there you can get horses or whatever you need to get to your location.
Thank you. Truthfully, I believe it is your aura and your magical abilities that pulled us off course from the tragic way that we were teleported.
Well, I don't believe I did anything, but
I don't see what other reason why we would have ended up here, of all places.
who knows? Magic is a funny thing. It's especially when you begin to, when somebody's toying with the fabrics of the universe. Anything can happen, I suppose. Well, Bill, excuse me. I'm rather tired. Had a long day. I'm gonna go rest. Feel free to rest tonight. In the morning, Herabuck can escort you to Hale.
Certainly.
Your train gets up and walks off. Did you just finish eating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine as well.
So yeah, guards escort you back to your rooms. Or to your room. Again, as soon as you guys go in, you hear the door locking.
It is interesting that she doesn't want us to, like, explore. Even though she said that we were free to explore.
I mean, we could,
Things may have
critically-
changed after she left dinner.
or could have just. I mean, if we asked the guards, maybe they would escort us around. I mean, locking us in the room doesn't seem that strange. I don't know.
We did literally drop into her
It's true.
throne room, practically her lap.
I mean, I feel like there's a reason that we came here, but I don't know how to really flesh it out.
There's far too much we don't know yet. It's all a very suspicious situation, but we don't have a lot of power right here, and we're in a tricky spot.
Yes, and I don't want to spend more time here than necessary because we don't know what she is, who she is.
Agreed.
She seems to have a kingdom of isolation, and she seems to be the queen. She has a lot of history from her past, and someone needs to help her to let it go, I think.
Out of
We're
character.
going into the unknown here. And I don't like it. But I suppose it could be worse. We could be lost in the woods. Alright, I'm done now. I've had my fun.
Alright, so do you guys crash out for the night?
I guess. Do we want to keep a watch? I suppose it probably won't do us much good. If they try to storm in, we're going to be in bed anyway.
Well, right, and the spirit said she wasn't intending to kill us, so
True, but there's a lot else that could be done, I suppose.
Yeah, but I feel like she's not gonna do it directly if something like that happens, you know? It's like I don't feel like as long as we follow the rules that she set out for us,
right, we haven't really done anything yet to
then I don't think that there's any reason for her to come charging in or her guards or whatever.
Daniel will sleep lightly all the same.
Jewel will agree and still prop a chair up against the door or something to give us, just that extra second of warning. Fair enough.
Alright.
Plus, Jorlak will wake up if, if something comes
true,
in
he
or
is a little
tries to
boy.
come in.
So as you sleep through the night, it's kind of a fitful sleep. And it's fairly warm in the room, but there's still a chill in the air. When you wake up the next morning, you've got a little bit of frost on your hair, kind of your covers. It's a little chilly. And you hear the door unlock. You hear a thump, 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 thump.
Who's closest to the door?
So Jewel removed the chair from in front of the door.
So once that's gone, the door opens. Heraba's sitting there. Sticky doors. Do you wish
Yes.
Probably the ice.
possible? Do you wish to get some food before we go?
Might as well.
All right. It's in the dining hall. Guards will escort you. I'll be waiting outside. And she turns, walks out, closes the door. She goes. A few minutes later, guards can open the door. You all ready to go?
Yeah.
As will ever be. Again, please thank Her Highness for her hospitality. We are much obliged.
We'll let her know. So they bring you back into the dining hall. And there's like a breakfast all set out. And you got like
Breakfast buffet.
pretty much.
Well, Dana will take a full plate of that. Might as well. Don't know when we'll get our next decent meal.
Yeah. But Ula will eat fairly quickly because she doesn't want to keep Herva waiting since she seemed a
Oh, yeah.
little annoyed.
So you see Garnd, he's with one hand stuffing his face as fast as possible, the other hand he's throwing stuff into a bag.
Like food stuff? Okay.
Wise.
Like he's not separating, he's just like handful of eggs, throws them in, sausage, throws it in, bunch of bread, throws it in. Just
That
Just
disgusting.
waiting for at the end, he's just going to pour some syrup all over the top of the. And then he's going to serve it to us for lunch.
Well, if we
Goblin
get
trail
hungry
mix.
enough, if we get hungry enough, we'll eat it.
yeah.
Reminds me of this.
After he's done, you see him get all bundled up again, so he's got all this like fur sticking out around his face. But yeah, all you can really see is just like right about this.
Don't really have a choice. They don't have any other clothing.
So after you guys eat, guards basically bring you back and bring you outside into the kind of like the main courtyard, and as you come out, start walking out, you notice off to your right, kind of by one of the walls, there is a male that is impaled on a big icicle. And you see where the blood is fairly fresh, had come down and frozen.
Another visitor of Her Highness?
No, Malvarazo that was trying to cause problems yesterday.
The disturbance during dinner, then.
Indeed. Every now and then we get some random villager that comes up yelling and screaming and making threats, so they're dealt with. Are you lot ready to go?
Yes.
Perfect. Try to keep up. Then she starts heading off.
Follow.
Yep, we
Yeah.
don't want to get impaled by icicles.
We didn't come here to die to Elsa.
Her evil twin sister.
So the journey to Hale takes you about 4.5 days, with taking some back trails and game trails that Herba knows of. Once you guys get close, she stops. She's like, just keep going that way, you'll make it.
Thank you for guiding us.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, just if you ever decide to come back, at least make yourself known before showing up.
That
We shall keep that in mind.
absolutely will be our intention.
Absolutely.
Please let Her Highness know that if she would like to invite us back, we would be happy to come back.
I'll let her know, but she likes to stick to herself, so can't guarantee you'll hear anything from us.
Well, we wish her good fortune and a long life. And I really hope we don't ever have to go back out of character. Because yep,
You don't want to deal with evil Elsa?
random ice queen in the middle of the mountains when we just got transported and heard evil laughter. I'm just glad she didn't want to kill us.
So as you guys enter into Hale, it's it's a decent size town. It's not quite a city, but it's pretty busy.
I suppose we should start by finding some sort of inn to regroup in, gather supplies, figure out what we're doing next.
We should do that and then possibly see if there is a branch of the guild here. If nothing else, somebody should know what happened.
Absolutely.
So I guess we'll find an inn.
All right.
Yeah.
So the one you come across is the High Courtesan Inn. Um, as you walk in, it's fairly busy. A lot of people eating, drinking. There's a human female sitting behind, kind of like a counter. She's like, "Oh, what can I get you, lovelies? You don't look like you're from around here."
No, travelers passing through, hopefully.
Well, what can we do for you?
We're looking for rooms to stay, and we're also looking for, I didn't write down the contact name.
We're still a ways away, though, from
Oh, we're
because that's in that
that's
other city,
charging for,
Dorkilder.
my bad.
But we are looking for if there is a branch of the Grey Lion Guild.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't sound familiar. Is it new?
Probably more of a southern thing then.
Sounds like something a Southerner would do. Yeah, we've got some rooms available. How many do you want? One each? You want to share one? 2 rooms? 12? What do you want?
Happy to share with Ula.
Jill will take her own room.
Yeah, Dan will take his own room, I guess.
3, I guess.
Alright. So it'll be, let's see, 3 rooms. How long do you want them for?
Most likely only a single night in town. I don't think we'll be staying long.
Alright, so it'll be 3 silver each.
Hand it over.
Yep.
So just gonna hand you some keys. It's got the room numbers on them. Alright, kitchen's open, so if you're hungry, and you get some food.
Daniel's gonna order a hot drink and sit down at a table.
Alright. So they've got spiced hot wine.
That'll do.
And they've got, let's see, spiced wine, they've got tea.
You all right there, Nikki?
No. What the hell is that?
I don't know. I just typed in Elsa and that came up. So I was like, it's Elsa, obviously.
Goat.
Okay, it's Goatsa.
Yikes.
As the group sits down, Daniel's just gonna take a swig and say, "So, I guess we need to figure out where we want to go next, because there's still the job we can try to get to, but it's going to take us a while to get there, and it's also the opposite direction we were heading in. And we'll be trekking back that same way once again, and I don't know if we want to try teleporting again next time."
Maybe we should look for another caravan job.
That's what I was thinking. It's not the best idea to pass up on good money like that, but at the same time, we might be better suited to continue our journey west and pass that opportunity up for now, since we're already in the area.
There
Might be
is-
able to find a boat closer to the coast and maybe sail closer to the ice crowns.
Yeah, if I remember the map correctly, there's really a good direct route south of the mountains. And also, I think there's a reason we ended up so far off course. What it is, I don't know yet. I've been trying to pray for guidance.
Sometimes that reason is that you are dumb and make bad choices.
Or could the reason have been that that mission was important, and if we had done it, it would have harmed the god rising to power?
That's good.
Well,
Let,
there are a lot of what ifs.
let's stop and overthink this.
Well, I might as well share then, in case you didn't overhear. I mostly was asking about our present situation back in the palace fair, but the spirits did mention. Well, I tried to ask the spirits if uh, our adversary, and he puts emphasis on that, was behind the attack, if they were his followers. And I have never seen a situation in which the spirits were incapable of answering me. They attempted to and were prevented. So I think we can safely assume that the raid was due to the actions of that cult.
So it was intentional that they were trying to disrupt our travel.
Perhaps they intended to kill us, or maybe we just happened to be in a town that was under attack. There's a lot we don't know, and I didn't have enough questions to dig further. If we give it time for my abilities to work their magic again, we could try to learn more, but who knows how long it will take.
Jewel will do what the group wants to do, but she would like to keep going with this mission, even if it means backtracking.
We do owe the guild.
I'm willing to go through with this, especially since our goal in heading west anyway is already a flimsy one. We may or may not find what we're looking for out in the mountains.
So
I think that we should go and try to help Treef's friend.
It's the least we can do.
is there another guild hall here, or somebody else who could send a message? I mean, just like some way to try to get information back to our what town did we just leave? I can't keep track of towns tonight. The town that we got teleported from.
Tours of Keep.
Tours of Keep.
But it's a long ass way, and
It
I don't know
is.
that anyone. I don't know if we're gonna find a wizard in town capable of like beaming messages places.
And news wouldn't have traveled that fast from there to here in less than a week. We've been gone less than a week.
Yeah.
Very well, but we should be prepared. It's still a long trek then to get to Darkholder. If we head south through the mountains, we'll have to cross the Frostfell woods, and then there's another village in the way, and we've got to go all the way east again. It'll be
Well,
something.
Maybe there is a caravan heading south that we can guard until the village.
We can only hope. Oh, do we want to ask around about our host here in town? I can't imagine we'll hear anything good, but it might be wise to gather a little bit more information.
Who knows if we'll hear anything at all?
Somebody had to have at least have stories.
It's true.
We can ask around. I don't know. I don't know if we'll get anything useful, but
Well, something to keep in mind, I suppose.
Give me a. If anybody wants to ask around. Say an average streetwise.
Damn, the dice are cold. Just like Elsa's palace.
Alright, so.
Hot damn.
So, asking people around the inn. You guys get a lot of dirty looks. A few unkind things said about parentage. But
In reference to us or to her?
both.
Okay.
Ullid has come across somebody that is able to kind of tell a little bit, or that's willing to talk a little bit about the queen. He references her as the bloody red queen, or the bloody white queen, and how, as he's talking, he's getting angry. As he goes on to say that every month she sends her guards down to claim a token from a village, which is usually in the form of a child. And that's how they keep the protection of the villages, kind of keep them under control, is every month guards come and basically grab a kid from the villages. There have been reports and rumors of some of the parents that have gone to take their kids back that are not seen again. There are quite a few times where their bodies will be impaled upon ice outside of the villages as a warning.
Such a moral dilemma because she let us go with no qualms, even though we dropped in. And she doesn't abuse these kids. Because like you said, they seemed resigned to their fate, but they didn't seem mistreated.
Well, slavery is slavery. It's a matter of we could go about our lives dealing with our own problems, or we can do very dangerous things to try to help people.
It's sticking in Key's Ka that she herself has been sold by her parents, yet she takes these children from their parents.
Did he say what they're supposedly being protected from?
No, just that they offer protection.
Your house could suddenly get caught in a blizzard, you know? It would be a real shame.
Well, I'm just wondering if there's something that's afraid of the queen. If we take that out.
Nah, it's a racket.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
That's what I choose to believe
Absolutely.
anyway. Then Joe,
Absolutely.
then Joe's like, by defeating Elsa, you've awoken the ice worm. It will now consume the whole world. You fools fought to make the world a better place.
You didn't know. You can't.
How dare you try to do good in my world?
Something feels like this is while it's something that Key wants to address, not something that we like, it's not our highest priority. But she definitely is not okay with the fact that she didn't know.
Well, we can always put it on our to-do list.
It's just, do we do it now or do we do it later?
Out
Let's
of
see, it's
curiosity-
Thursday. Looks like overthrow a government. Yeah, I can pencil you in.
Out of curiosity, how long roughly would be an overland trip to Dorguldur?
From here, if you're on foot, it would be a while. Horseback, about a week and a half maybe.
Well, if we have horses, I suppose we could theoretically make it back before another child is taken, assuming one happened recently.
Do we know?
Based on the issue the other night.
Probably.
Well, Key is going to advocate for staying until the next child is taken and prevent it, to send a message to the queen that it's not okay. She's just going to lay it out there.
I suppose that leaves us with the question, do we think it's easier to march back up that mountain and take the fight to her there, or get her mad enough to come down here and
No. I'd just like to send her a message. She told me to use my past to find strength. No child should be taken from its parent. That message needs to be sent.
All right then. Are we going to stick around after, see the effects of the message?
I think I will be.
All right then.
I'm just saying I'd like to take this stand. If you guys are against it, then it is a group vote.
Deep in his heart, Daniel knew the second he suggested, let's ask around, this was the inevitable outcome.
I mean, Ula, honestly, we don't really have any time frame of doing anything.
Until the peach blossoms grow on the trees or something. What was that again?
When there's the red star in the eastern sky, the ash tree blooms with silver flowers. Then we will find him.
So we have until then. But she's just going to put it out to you guys that this is a moral ground that she'd like to stick.
Based on everything that Key has told us about her childhood, Jules supports her.
We're with you. Wherever that may be.
is with you. She's not cool with people stealing children.
All right. So I guess the next
Elsa.
The next bit will be then, I guess, gaining intel, figuring out how to set a trap for the guards to interrupt the next kidnapping and see if we can find out more.
Jewel's going to ask Daniil if he thinks he could impersonate a human child. I mean, wrap him up in enough clothes and...
Garn might be easier.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Actually, that's not a bad idea. The snout is going to be the difficult part to disguise. I haven't seen anyone wearing any plague masks around here. But Garnt could pass as a human child, I suppose. What
If
do you
he's
say?
bundled up.
Well,
If
is
we
he
want
ever
to
not?
trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
If you're willing to, we're not going to force you into it.
We know that in if you do get taken, which we would try to prevent you from being taken, but if you do, we know that you're slippery enough to get away from a couple of guards and come back to us. We have that faith in you, Garn.
If you perish and you won't, we will remember you. Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
How did you defeat the enemy? We threw countless troops at him until they ran out of ammo.
See, I knew they had a weakness. I threw wave after wave of my own soldiers at them until the killbots reached their preset kill limit and shut down.
That's what it was.
It's just pissing Key off that she was so polite to a kidnapper. She had no clue, though. How are we to know? We were locked in rooms, and yeah, I suppose we could have asked one of the kids, but that could have been. But still, now that she knows,
that would have worked.
now that we know, I'm ready to trap this lady and force her to either change her ways or be more drastic.
So, when you say, talking about how Garnd is slippery and can easily get away and everything, you see him kind of pop up. Garnd, do it!
That's our Garn.
Well, that's the start of a plan.
There is a spell in the player's expanded player's guide called Mask, and it's for Arcana. And it's basically you can cast an illusion over yourself or somebody. So Jewel could hopefully cast an illusion over Garnd. So
Only Arcana?
it's only Arcana.
Damn.
Well, there's Mask, Transform, and there's another one that's basic
Predict.
Which is it's funny because it's right down the wheel line of what Danelle wants to do, but yeah, it's Arcana only.
First, just not getting the cool add-on spells. Oof.
Yeah, Verse didn't get anything in the expanded book, which is really weird. So I may go through and maybe tweak a few things.
Homebrew?
Yeah, because it seems really weird that they would get absolutely nothing. But again, I mean, it's just a general handbook. It's not really aimed for like Terranoth or.
Yeah, Verse is Terranoth specific, so that's probably why.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so maybe something to aim for like down the line, like actually learning that or something.
That would be fun. I might get to progress my character arc.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like really nothing. I mean, there's, other than, you know, your heroic ability, there's really nothing for it. And actually, it's got some pretty cool little boosts to it too. So if you can ever, or if you can pick up a copy of the expanded player's guide, I'd say do it. I haven't found a PDF for it, so I think it's only a book.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like $30 or something like that. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, especially if I can find a PDF, that'd be a good thing to grab.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. It's 10 o'clock our time. I think we'll wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not that long, but again, having some technical issues, but I think they're fixed.
Yes, and we have a lot of planning and strategery that we need to figure out for next session.
We'll definitely have our plan entirely figured out by next week. No hiccups.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
overthinking it whatsoever.
We aren't going to
Or-
spend 2 hours deliberating, overthinking the plan, being like, I don't know, guys, what if we do this instead?
Trying to plan for literally every outcome.
But then in the end, we just ambush the guards as they approach, just run up to them and stab them. It's not even like an ambush. We just run at them quickly and stab them.
I guarantee you, though, I will have the note, the message figured out by next session that Key wants to send. It will be strongly worded.
I am going to send her a strongly worded letter. But what I think of this.
Uh-huh.
How the hell did the UN get into my game?
Hey, it might not be a letter. It might be some magic poof that pops up with my face being like, bitch, what are you doing?
You better check yourself.
See, clearly we should have continued on to find a dragon so that we could come back here with some real firepower to storm the castle.
Firepower against ice. Yes.
I see what you did there.
Alright, for those that are
So
watching,
good.
thanks for sticking around. Again, sorry it was so short, but, you know. Technology is supposed to be great. Helps our lives. Anyways, have a good night. Thanks for hanging around.